All right, you guys are good to go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our Student Alliance Town Hall meeting. Today's date is March 18th, and it's currently 2:03 p.m. And this is in time for us as Student Alliance to introduce ourselves. I'm Brendan Burke. I'm the Communications Director.
I'm Inaya Hakeem. I'm the president this year.
And Rala is the External Affairs Director. He's not here currently. And we also have Neo, who's not here currently, and he's the Operations Director.
I should be joining us soon, hopefully.
So we have a couple icebreaker questions. If you could do one free thing for free in your life, what it would be. So like this could be like scuba diving, skydiving, like mountain climbing, like anything you want to do for your life. If you had like a free pass one day to do what you wanted.
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
If I could do anything for a whole day for free, it would probably try to visit as many places as I can. Just go from plane to plane and just visit all out throughout the whole world and see how far I can get. Just kind of pinpoint locations and go through them. But I don't know if 24 hours would be enough for me for that, but it'd be an interesting trip.
Where would you go first?
I would probably, I don't know, somewhere. I would probably try to visit Mexico and then South America, somewhere down there. I feel like it takes about like 13 hours just to go across to Europe. So I would try to get my money's worth and visit somewhere locally.
Okay, to piggy off of that though, for real, I would just go get my pilot's license. Something I've thought about for a long time. I think being able to do it for free would really help. So that's mine.
I was gonna say I'd probably like climb a mountain or something. Not in a day, but if I could get it, if I could do it for free, like get all the equipment and the training for free, I'd definitely go climb a mountain, like a big one. Something overseas, probably.
I'd go with you on that too, for free.
This might sound weird, but I would buy like multiple plane tickets because I've never been on a plane because I like to travel and I've never been on a plane or in an airport. So like just flying, seeing different places.
That's a good one. Flying is fun to me. Does anyone else want to go?
Okay, I don't have any serious kind of answer that I can give. So if I'm gonna do like some kind of, if I can do something for, it doesn't have any, I thought it had something to do with like legality too. But I was just thinking, I don't know, I'd like lobby foreign governments to recognize Sealand as a legitimate country. And if you're not familiar with Sealand, do a quick Google search because and yes, that thing is in fact the whole country, because I know what picture you're going to see, and yes, that is the whole country, and it is in international waters, but it does have a claim to legitimacy.
I just Googled it. It actually a really interesting choice, honestly, but I mean, it's the world's smallest country. I'll give you that.
There's probably at least someone who claims otherwise.
Okay. Well, if I could do something for free, I think I would go to space.
That's an out of the world answer. I like it.
That idea is out of this world.
That was a good one.
Oh man, I love you guys. Oh my gosh. Predictable, I'm sure, but I would probably go fly fish somewhere crazy like Iceland or Scotland. I'd love to fly fish where it all started over in the UK. That'd be pretty sweet.
Anyone else have one? Any of our guest visitors?
I'll jump in. Hang gliding. Never have done it. I've seen people do it. The idea of jumping off a cliff with a kite strapped to my back terrifies me, but it sounds super exciting at the same time.
That sounds really adventurous. But for one, I like heights, but I couldn't do that. Anyone else? Okay, so my next question is, what is the last movie you watched or saw? Even if it's like 20 minutes, I'll count it.
I'll start again. The last movie I was pretty excited I was looking forward to watching it. It's called The Banker. It's on Apple TV. I don't know if any of you heard it, but it's about two African American entrepreneurs, and the settings in Los Angeles, 1950. So there's some racial in there, and kind of it's these two African Americans are trying to make a business, and they hire a white man to pretend to be the head of their business empire while posing as janitors and chauffeurs. So it's pretty interesting, and they make it to the top, but then the system brings them down. But it's pretty empowering. I recommend to anyone to watch. It's on Apple TV if you have it. It's called The Banker.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone?
The last thing I watched was this one.
Well, since and I correct me, I guess I'll go. The last movie I watched, I only watched like half of it, but this movie's called All Things Fall Apart. The movie, actually, some of it was filmed at GRCC, I found out, and it's like about a football player, but yeah.
Was it like produced locally?
It was produced by 50 Cent.
Mm.
But like Ray Liotta, 50 Cent was in it, but like it was filmed at there's times it was filmed at GRCC. It was filmed in Van Andel, all downtown Grand Rapids, like Sherman Avenue. I don't exactly know where that is, but it was all like Grand Rapids based.
Yeah, the last movie that I watched was Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Well, it's not really a movie, but it kind of is because it's like a bunch of series of movies. So, last thing I watched was like anime, a new anime called like Mushoku Tensei, I think.
I watched Lady Bird on Netflix the other day. That's cute. Like a teen coming of age. Cute story.
There are like so many movies that I want to watch that I just haven't gotten around to, and Lady Bird is one of those on the list because I know I think it got like I know it was at the very least Oscar nominated, and I think it won at least something. So
Oh yeah, I think you're right. I heard something on like it's mother-daughter, and I think one got an actress award. I don't know these things. And then the mom got like supporting actress award or something. And yeah. Anyways, thanks.
I feel that there's so many movies I want to. Yes, we're gonna go back to these questions. We're gonna go to the bookstore conversation real quick because we have visitors and they have to unlimited time, so we're gonna just jump to that right now. Sorry to jump the gun on you guys randomly. So I'm opening up the floor to our guests. We have David DeBoer and Phoenix. And I can't find her last name, but like we're gonna open up the floor for them.
And we have Mandy Tomlinson is supposed to be joining us. They were planning at joining 2:30. So if you have other business to do, we can wait.
Mandy just actually jumped on. Sorry to throw you into the fire here, Mandy. So this crew is all here to talk about the bookstore like we had just talked about, and I'm going to turn them loose.
All right. Yeah, I'm actually pulling up. My name is Mandy. Those of you who don't know who I am, I work at IT support. So I know I've talked to quite a few people that I don't get to see as many faces. But today, we're going to ask a few questions. We really just want to get some feedback from you guys, really open-ended. more information. There's no bad information. So any information we can get is absolutely phenomenal. So.
And before you get started, I'll just introduce myself real quickly. So I'm David DeBoer, Executive Director of Financial Aid, and I'm on the committee with Andy that's reviewing. So I was really glad when she jumped in because I did not have the list of questions. So, whew, good. But happy to be here, and more importantly, happy to hear what feedback you all might have so that we can bring that back to the committee and help us look at ways to improve the bookstore experience.
All right, Phoenix, did you already introduce yourself?
Not formally. So I'm Phoenix, staff and student at the college. And for today, I'm acting as note taker. So if you don't have a chance to speak out, feel free to drop it in chat or send me a message sideways, and we'll make sure your thoughts are captured.
Absolutely. And to comment on that or expand on that, if you think of anything afterwards that you want to add to this, maybe like, oh, that would be a good information, feel free to shoot it our way. You can send it to Phoenix, you can send it to me, and we can give you all that contact information. You can send it to Lina and they'll send it on us. You know, in one way or another, we will get it. We'll get that information. So we want to start with just a simple, what do you use the bookstore for? Like, what have you used the bookstore for?
I've used the bookstore to purchase textbooks, to pick textbooks up. That's pretty much the only thing I've used the bookstore for. I probably bought a notebook at one point, but primarily to buy and return my textbooks.
Same here. I got my textbooks and I have this shirt I'm currently wearing from the bookstore, but other than that, just textbooks. Anyone else here, like Ethan, George? Why is there something?
Yeah, so I got like a water bottle from the bookstore. I got like a I did like the rental kind of situation. I definitely prefer renting over buying books, so I tend to do that. That's helpful. Also, I also bought graph paper one time, so I was really happy that that was there. But I also, obviously, since everything's online, I don't really get to stop in there as much. But you know, I do kind of enjoy some of the things I was not expecting to find there, specifically graphing paper. I thought that was nice.
I used to rent out textbooks from the bookstore, but now that everything's online and they have us go and work from these particular websites like WebAssign, I prefer to purchase my books or my course info from there instead of the bookstore for that website. So I just kind of skip that step and go straight to the website itself now that everything's online.
I'm muted, right? That's kind of the quote of the year is, hey, you're muted. But I'm hearing a lot of mix between, there's few other little things, but textbooks as well. Anybody else want to add to that? All right, fantastic. So and the next question is just, how have you accessed? Have you just done like in person? Have you come to campus like just during the first weeks of class, or you come at different times? Have you only gone online? So how are you using the bookstore?
I'll probably say that it's kind of a mix. Like I will go pick them up, or I'll order them through like online and then get the activation code. But it's always usually through the bookstore unless I find something cheaper.
Before this year, I used the bookstore like in person, but this year I ordered them all online through the bookstore. So like I'm still using the bookstore, but I'm using them online just because I think I've been on campus twice since March, maybe 3 times.
Me too. I've only been on campus 2 or 3 times since March of last year as well. And I work here.
I've used, like when we were in person, I would purchase the books prior to when my class would start. And then now that everything's online, I still do it before my class starts, but I don't use the bookstore. But I usually try to get the books before I start the class just so I have them secured. And if I have a mess up or if I purchase the wrong book, I can always return and still be on track. So
I generally have used the online bookstore since COVID hit. I think I used to order things and then pick them up in the bookstore, but I have not been on campus for a whole year. And then there were some exceptions as well. As like I'm a very responsible individual, and what I mean to that is to actually say that I wait to the last minute to buy my books. So sometimes I have to do the Amazon 2-day shipping kind of situation. So yeah, but I have found that it has been pretty convenient, particularly for this, because like I think last semester there were bundles, so it tends to be cheaper. So I prefer to use the bookstore over like Amazon and such like that.
Yeah, got some good feedback there. Anybody else want to add to that? All right, then one adaptation I've had to make. I like to talk really fast and a lot. I have to stop and wait because I have to remember that people have to unmute themselves to talk. So if you want to say something, I'm still talking, feel free to talk over me. I'm not going to think it through because otherwise I'll just keep going. All right. So what is your comfort level with online services as a whole? And this doesn't have to just be with the bookstore. Just like, do you prefer to do things online? Do you prefer to do online shopping versus, regular in-person shopping? Yeah, comfort level on that.
For me, it would depend. Like there's some classes I'm fine with an online textbook. Then there's other classes like my math. Like for math example, I always buy a math book brand new always, just because I'm a person that likes showing my work for math. So I sometimes, if I buy the book by myself, not like run it or anything, I write in the book to show my work or trying to understand along with the problem. So like stuff like my history class, I'm okay with like an online textbook, but like something like more complex like math, physics, and all that, I'd rather have like a book that I can actually write things in if I buy it brand new.
Yeah, I've always I like my text. I like to actually have a textbook for all of my classes, and I mean, since now I've definitely put that aside and got used to some virtual textbooks, but I pretty much prefer like a hard copy, and I like to shop. I like to shop in person, but online is just so convenient. But I don't like it. I still do it, but I don't like it that much.
for me, I prefer online shopping more than in person. Being 6'7" and wearing size 13 shoe, like that really isn't available in store. So online has a wider selection for that. But before I used to be a hardcover person, but now that I kind of switched over to online and I had to get used to it, and I like how accessible and easy it is just to kind of click over. But if I were to like highlight something, it would be pretty hard to search through the whole online textbook and just scroll over. So I think the hardcover would be much easier to look back on. But I'm pretty comfortable with online, and if I have any questions, I can always ask the teacher or some instructor to guide me through. But I like the online version a little bit more because it's more convenient for me.
Yeah. Anybody else want to add to that? How would you feel about, like shopping for your textbooks? Obviously we've we've gotten used to it a little bit in the most recent past here. But how would you feel about like having to shop online for books? Like that was your only option. How would you feel about that?
I mean,
And so I know Phoenix is taking notes, and I kind of threw in an extra question. Sorry.
Phoenix need time to catch up very quick. I want to make sure they're okay with it. Okay, I was waiting to see. Anyway, I'm okay with online buying more or less. Like it would be just the same thing as Amazon to me, like for like buying online books. So like I'm okay with it. Like I said, I've been pretty much buying everything online lately anyway. So like I just feel like it's the new normal, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely say that students have adapted to having to get in a lot of circumstances online textbooks. Personally, I would probably try to see where else I can get a hard copy, but if I couldn't find it, if it was too expensive, I'd probably just end up getting an online version.
Mandy,
Just to clarify, shopping
Yeah.
online doesn't necessarily mean online textbooks. This
Got
is,
it.
you know, you could get shipped to you, shipped to the store. So you'd still be able to get the hard copy. Just, yeah. Was that your question,
So,
Ashley?
oh, that makes sense because I've never actually went to the bookstore and walked down the aisles and like shopped for a textbook, but I would say that if I could order online and then get a hard copy, then that'd be cool. I'd be okay with that.
I think we, instead of asking whether we like or dislike things, perhaps we should also discuss how different learners engage in shopping, because a lot of us may be tactile more than linguistic and more visual or audio. For instance, I wasn't a fan of online shopping and online textbooks until I found the audio apps so I could walk while listening to my books. That made a big difference. And then I was more inclined to enjoying that. Now, when it came to interior design and art, then I actually, that's the last time I talked to you guys at the bookstore. I was sent to the other store downtown because I realized that they didn't go through the GRCC's bookstore. So, and that was, it's nice to actually look at your choices and your options. And then at the same point, whether I like it or not, you have a list that you get from your faculty member and from your professor or whatnot as to what you're supposed to have versus what you like. So I think you should look at asking it differently. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And it's not, yeah, we've got a lot of different questions here, but yeah, that's a good point where anything, if you think of a little side comments or something you want to add that doesn't 100% address the question I have, we're totally open to that feedback too. This is really just a gathering information, and I'm sorry, my dog just coughed over there, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. But yeah, just right now, just purely trying to get as much information from as many different people as possible.
Now, I know maybe there were options, and I don't know, I'm not a student to know like the different options, like you were saying, ship to you or ship to the store and pick up. I guess like if it were exclusively online shopping, then wouldn't it also be exclusively shipped to you? So you wouldn't have to like go do the thing. I just wondered.
I don't believe it would be exclusively shipped to you. Like, obviously we don't have anything. This is really just a, informational. That's one thing that we've discussed, where if we don't have that physical store, we would still need a place for somebody to come and pick it up. Even if, if we have either a smaller like Spirit store or even just a location to pick up books. Or other materials, even, not just books.
I would say the one piece of feedback, and that kind of is a little reassuring for me, because I do like having boxes just being sent to me. That's super convenient. And I think this is really ironic because I work at FedEx. Boxes are my form of living, but I don't like sending boxes back for like rentals. Like, I actively avoided that, and I'm like to the extent where I actually bought one of my Amazon textbooks as opposed to just sending it back. So I don't know why I kind of behave like that, but I don't know. For me, just actually sending that just seemed.
I don't like sending my boxes back either. Like I'd probably drive somewhere to go drop it off versus sending it back.
Yeah, so in-person returns versus, sending them mailing returns.
Can anyone speak to that? Like, why?
Because I don't know, like when you know, like how when you order something and it doesn't fit right or whatever, and you're like, I know I need to return. Well, for me, this started before when I didn't have a car, and returning something was the biggest mission in the world to me because who's going all the way across town on a bus that drops you off halfway there? So that's why I don't like returning things now, but because it would just be too much of a hassle. And I kind of just still have that. I'd rather like drop it off and it be done. You have to wait for like a confirmation email and for them to say they received it and stuff like that. And I just like it to be done in one mission. So yeah.
I definitely have clothes that I ordered online that didn't fit, that I sat next to the door to mail back for like 6 months. I didn't go anywhere, so they just went to Goodwill because I was like, yeah, well. All right, so what are some general online e-commerce preferences? Like, do you have, did you write this question, Phoenix? Like, is this more of like do you have specific formats and stores that you prefer to use? I guess
Are you talking about like for payment?
No, just like shopping online. I guess I'm not positive where the group was going with this question. Anybody else from my group know?
Yeah, repeat that question again, Mandy. I think I can give some background.
Yeah, it says, what are your general online e-commerce preferences?
Yeah, and so what the committee talked about was, are there certain formats that you prefer? Like, for instance, Amazon has a certain format and what it looks like. Etsy has a different way, and it's primarily PayPal, or of course Venmo is something else. That's I guess it's not necessarily online, but it's definitely an electronic transfer between two parties. So is there a certain convenience factor that you like, or a certain pattern in an e-commerce transaction that you like? So are there certain websites that just seem to be designed better, that make it easier to understand the purchase and to make the purchase?
Yeah, I get what you're saying now. I guess I would say that I don't like when there's like a PayPal, like I don't like there being another transaction thing you go through. I think Google Pay and Apple Pay might be the most convenient on mobile devices, but on like laptops and computers and stuff, I just kind of like to go through. I don't know what it's like formally called, but you just check out through the website. There's not like a third party in between like your payment to get it there. I don't know. It's kind of like built into the website. Like when you click checkout, you put your information in and then, save, don't save, and then you check out. But the easiest is Apple Pay and Google Pay, I think, because you just have to click a button twice sometimes, and then it goes through. That's if you have all that information saved to your mobile device. So that's my opinion about it.
I think you're talking about financial aid.
Oh my gosh, so embarrassing. So wait.
It's both. It's both questions. I'm sorry. I have our little mix of everybody's screens on a different screen, so I should look at the camera. It's both. It's your experience, like you just mentioned, with Apple Pay versus PayPal, but it also is the financial aid question too. So it's both.
All the information.
Yeah, I like paying with financial aid over everything, honestly, because then I don't have to like use my own money.
Agreed.
I agree with that too.
Nobody likes to use their own money, right? I'd rather use somebody else's money. Yeah, and I just looked back in the chat a little bit. You know, definitely if you can think of, you know, I know other students who think this way, feel free to give us that information too. Or I think other students would think differently. That information is good too.
Okay. Thank you for saying that actually, because I do know several students who depend on the financial aid to pay for their books. Like me being one of them. So I think that feature, the way, and it's really easy too, like just you get a certain amount and you can just swipe it. So I think that's like super great for students to be able to use their financial aid to buy their books.
Absolutely. What kind of challenges would you anticipate, or what would the challenges be for you in an online bookstore format? And that would be like a purely online bookstore format. What kind of, you know, challenges would you have?
I think the hardest thing is maybe sometimes finding the right book, for instance, because like I know one of my classes has like a 3rd edition, a 5th edition, and like a 7th edition, and sometimes it's hard to find the right one because like, oh, it has the same title, but then it's like a different edition.
I
Yeah.
would say that, oh, go ahead, Rala.
Like sometimes the photos aren't like on the website, so then you have to just like wing it, and then once it gets to you, hopefully that's the right book for you.
Yeah, I would say mine is kind of like whether the website is user friendly or not, because a lot of the websites, it takes a while for it to be developed in a way that's like that its web design or its mobile design is helpful. I've been on a lot of websites like through JRCC that's been kind of like, okay, this is so hard to navigate. I don't even want to, I'm just gonna close it out. But yeah, probably it being user friendly and not being able to ask someone, like having to call someone and then ask versus being able to ask someone at, you know, the checkout or whatever.
I would imagine it would be helpful too. Like, what if you could just choose, like, this is the class in my section, and then like then the bookstore staff would do the work, and like then the questions are like up to them to answer, like if it's the right thing or not. But also I can imagine people would probably want to apply financial aid if they could, and I don't know how that would be able, you know, how you'd be able to navigate that, but yeah.
I think it'd be cool if like say there's like an online like person you could talk to before like purchasing the book, just for like another confirmation that you're getting the right book.
That's a really good idea. I forgot, I was on TurboTax, whatever, but I needed help in a video. I was at GRCC actually, and a video popped up. No, there was a lady and she was on a web recorder and she was like walking me through everything I needed to do. And it was like the most help I've had through any online platform. And it was great.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, especially with like the video where you can interact with them, and I think that definitely that visual element definitely adds a lot of value to that. What are some challenges that you've had, if any, with our current bookstore and the way it currently is formatted and everything like that?
I got nothing, to be honest with you.
We've all had great experiences, no issues at all.
Yeah, I would
no,
honestly say,
you go first.
I would honestly say I've had a pretty good experience overall. Just like anytime I've looked for books, like, you know, I've literally had them like, you know, bundled together in the same thing. They're typically cheaper than alternatives, and I normally haven't had issues with like finding the wrong editions. And I think like anytime I've looked around, I've just like looked at I think it's what the ISBN number, and I've really been able to lock on there. So I'd say like I've had a flawless experience. There's no pictures on there, but then again, I don't really get pictures of the books I need from the syllabus anyways, so.
Yeah, honestly, I think that the bookstore now, to me, I like it better than like before COVID because now like everything's like so sped up. Like sometimes I'd usually order a book online and then go into the bookstore to pick it up, and it'll be like a big line.
Plus, that helps because it's not as busy in the store too, and you can get in and out, not waiting in line for hour and a half. Trust me, been there, done that.
Absolutely, and not waiting in line is always a plus for sure. So, assuming both are offered, and some of you have touched on this already, but assuming both are offered, would you prefer to have a physical or a digital book?
Like I said, it depends on the class.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like that one's personally a hard way to answer, but I think I'd prefer the online. It's just so much like it's always there. You can always just look it up and find it. So I will be the dissenting opinion here.
I would choose if it's online, I would do an online book, and then if it's in person, I would do a physical copy, just so I can follow along in class or something. But if it's online, where I really don't need to be physically in a classroom with anyone, I would just rather just have everything on one page on my computer and just go back and forth to there, or do it like a split screen or something. Just work like that. So online, and then in person, hard copy for me.
Yeah, there seems to, and that one is really a personal preference quite a bit. You know, some people really like that look at the book, and as you guys mentioned earlier, if it's something you're going to highlight in, for instance, that's much easier to do in a physical book. Scanning a book and finding information might be a little bit easier, especially if you've already had it highlighted, for sure. So yeah, I know that we kind of touched on that in a previous question. But. All right, how many of you have experienced having a printed course pack for a course, where it's like loose leaf papers where they shrink wrap, like, yeah.
I've had a book like that before.
I've had that for a class also, and I don't know, I was kind of, it was expensive. I think I paid $70 for it, and I was like, well, if I paid that much, I might as well have a cover on it. So
I know that when I had it, it also came like with the access code. So I went to the e-textbook and never picked that one up.
For class, when I had the option either to do loose leaf, I think that's what it's called, the format, or get a hard copy. I chose hard copy just because the loose leaf, I feel like the papers would have been just all over the place, and it would have been more scattered than just a hard copy where it's all intact.
I'm not a big fan of loose leaf personally.
Yeah, I don't think you can like rent loose leaf, and I think I had the option of doing a hardcover or loose leaf once, and I didn't know what loose leaf was, and I, since I had to buy it, like now I just have this binder full of papers now, and honestly, it just takes up so much space, and I don't really know how to get rid of it really, other than just like throw the whole thing away, because I'm not entirely sure you can just sell that. So like, I don't know. I kind of just doesn't work for me.
Ethan, I have had experience selling loose leaf, like on Craigslist or back to Chegg. That's when I was a student, so it's been a couple of years, but you could check it out before throwing it away, at least. or put it on a free table, give it away.
So with that loose leaf, especially if it's like a course pack that the individual professor designed, sometimes you don't know if it's the same edition. Yeah, have you guys seen anything like that where it's something that the professor has specifically designed? Not really even like a loose leaf textbook where it's just photocopies, but it could be something completely unique to that course.
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, so for instance, I haven't had one of these, but like my husband had a chemistry class where the first 10 pages or so were the class schedule and the syllabus all printed out and put into the course binder. And then after that, it was specific assignments. So like section 1 might have had like 4 or 5 printed assignments already for you. Maybe some supplementary materials in there that are specific to that course that they may or may not use in the next semester.
I don't think I've had something similar to that, but if anything, the closest to that I think would be Blackboard. I mean, where all the teachers have the syllabus, the assignment schedules, and their contact information. But I don't think I've had what you had mentioned where they just go from start to finish and have everything listed off. I think Blackboard's pretty convenient for that. So
Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Do you guys have any thoughts on keeping costs down? Like how important are keeping costs down for you as far as textbooks and stuff? How important is that for you?
Sometimes I find myself like, well, first off, keeping the cost down is like really important to me. But if all the options that I've seen are kind of like, I'm like around the same, I kind of just fold. I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to have to spend X number of dollars on this. So let me at least go get like what I want or what medium I want it in. So I guess at a certain point, cost stops being relevant because you kind of have a small window of what you're going to pay. But before that window, cost is very relevant. But,
I know that yeah, the cost, keeping it down is very important because like say it's like a 50 difference on like you guys are $50 more than Amazon, then I'm clearly going to Amazon. But if it's probably like $20, I think is probably the limit. If you guys are like $20 more expensive, I'll go to you guys just because it's like I don't have to wait with Amazon. I could just go down to GRCC to get my book.
and then I'm wondering about the rental prices too. Like the rental prices have been more than the actual book itself on something else, but I would be able to keep the book. But if it's a book I don't really need, like, okay, earth science, and I'd be like, no, thank you. But it's kind of like sometimes the rental prices are a lot more expensive than the actual price somewhere else to just get the book. And usually even in that situation, I would get the book off of somewhere else to have and then sell maybe.
Yeah. Does anybody have any ideas on how to keep costs down? Like what are some ideas, any brainstorming?
Do you know how the the pricing works now? Like how does it work basically, or how are things priced? Is it, or how are the prices managed now? Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, is it like based on your guys' like income and then you can reduce the book's prices that way?
So the bookstore, if you guys aren't familiar with this, is actually owned by a third company or run by a third company. So Follett, we have a contract with Follett, and they set all of the pricing and everything like that. David, you might know a little more. Are they considered a for-profit company? Because we aren't as the college.
My understanding is that yes, they are, but correct, GRCC is not for profit, but I believe that the vendor is. And pretty much any bookstore vendor, there are other vendors that provide textbooks to students that various colleges and universities will use. And as far as I know, most of them are for profit. And,
Well-
and Raleigh, if I can just real quickly, the prices are based more on volume. It's kind of supply and demand type situation. The more that the textbook is used, more frequently used, more classes, then that price would be a little bit lower. The courses that have that are not offered as much, fewer students in them, that kind of thing, the price is actually a little bit more expensive on that side.
Well, I believe that like if the prices were cheaper, then more people will buy the book, so there'll be like more money in their pocket. Because if the price goes up, then we'll just kick it on over to Amazon or Chegg or a different website. So it's like a lose-lose for you guys.
This is related but not. Can students sell their books back to the bookstore? I wonder if that would open up an opportunity to at least like keep it within the bookstore cycle. Yeah. I had another thought, it just went away.
The bookstore does currently have a buyback system. However, it is dependent on, are they using that book again in future courses? You know, are they using it again at GRC in future courses as well? The conditions of the book, you know, I've heard a lot of feedback that, and if any of you have sold a book back to the store, maybe you could add on this. I've heard a lot of feedback that you might pay $100 for the book and sell it back for $20.
I think maybe a way to get some more, to keep the book prices lower is, again, like Rala said, to get more profit. And I think Ashley had said to keep it within the bookstore. So maybe if you offered, or there was an incentive offered to get the books through GRCC, like a credit or a sweater or like something that would keep the business at GRCC. Because I know if I was getting a free sweater, I might pay because it pays for itself kind of. So I might pay like $15 extra for a book, but you know.
Yeah, and even coming out of that, you know, those like apply at checkout codes, like just something to say thank you, or, you know, to at least somewhat relieve the cost involved.
Absolutely, yes. Thank you for some great feedback here. I don't know if you noticed Phoenix dropped out, their internet dropped, so I'm also trying to take notes at the same time. So I am still listening. I'm a multitasker, you know. I'm good. All right. Any other feedback before going to the next question?
How important is it to you guys to be able to buy swag from the bookstore? As you guys are talking about sweaters and t-shirts and all that.
If it's free, I'm down, but like I don't know, like I don't know if it's free, yes, but if it's anything more than like $15, I'm like, okay, no, because I already have to pay like $6,000 a year. I think I'm okay. So like in that regard, definitely, but and that's why I said like points or something like that towards something, because I know you guys just can't give out free stuff. Like maybe if, you know, like, I'm sorry, if you buy like if you have like 6 textbooks a year, in that you get 10 points every textbook, and then at the end of the year you can like go cash in and get a water bottle. I think this, like the swag stuff is kind of cool, but it's usually pretty expensive. It's like, because it's usually sponsored by brands like Under Armour and Nike and stuff like that. That's a good idea. But yeah, like if the prices were lower, yeah, but I think it would be, you would get more traction with the apparel. Gosh, you would get more traction with the apparel if there was like a, okay, if there was, I'm so sorry, I don't know how to mute it, and every time, I'm sorry. Anyways, that's what I'm saying. Like if there was some type of contract, like you could get certain things with points.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like I said, maybe like a punch card idea. Say you buy like 10 items or something, you get like 20% off or like half off or something. Somewhere in around to that. I don't know, just a random idea on my top of my head.
Absolutely. Yeah. Any more random ideas? I love random ideas.
Yeah, I really do like the idea of like having some sort of swag with CC on it, and like you if you shop online, it's like X amount of dollars for free shipping, and like what if it was X amount of dollars for a free sweatshirt or something, like not to make people buy more, but maybe just something like that, to make it worth both parties.
I have a good idea on how we can get the books prices reduced. So using like Brendan's idea, basically like about the amount of books you purchase gives you like a percentage off. Maybe if you did it that way, then you can make it where it's like, okay, you bought like 10 books, then you can get 30% off on a MacBook, and then it can give you like basically more money in your pocket since it's a bigger purchase.
And I think there's something was done like that with AirPods or something. There was a promotion on AirPods. I was like, oh, like if I can get, I think it was like last year, but if I can get that amount off, then yeah, I'll just take some AirPods. So the money, the money is going to you guys. If you get a percentage off a different item, you're gonna get. I mean, if it levels out, then like more profit.
Was that AirPods promotion at the bookstore that you saw that?
Yeah, I think it was.
How do you feel about like spend $150 or something and get put in like a drawing for a free AirPods? Or do you prefer 10% off something versus the drawing type thing?
I think the
10%.
Raffles are like, no, unless I can do multiple entries, no thanks.
I don't even like the multiple entries because I remember used to doing those in like middle school for like beats and stuff, and
you would never get it.
I'm never winning.
Like 20 tickets.
And did anyone ever win is the real question.
I had a friend actually, he bought 20 tickets and ended up getting like a Beats pill. And I was like, but that could work. Like if I did 20, but who else is doing 20? So no.
I remember that like in middle school, like we had, I think it was for a Beats pill and like Beats Studios and I think something else. And the same kid will always win because he'd buy the most tickets.
Or what about like a price match or something close to it? Or like, I don't know, some sort of student discount. I don't know what that is. I just know is it Apple or Best Buy, or Best Buy has, if you use a student email, you get, certain.
That is true.
benefits.
I can't even believe that because, I mean, I guess we are a college, but like everywhere you get a discount if you show your student ID, like pretty much everywhere. And I remember I was working at Target and they did price matches to Amazon. Amazon has us all, like, so like if you can price match Amazon, you can kind of, the money's going to go to you anyways. And that's where that's the next place I go after the bookstore. So.
Yeah, that's why I like the price match option. Anything we should keep in mind, or do you think we're missing anything in our search? If you have any questions, kind of open-ended, what do you want us to know? Cricket.
I don't know. I'm just shooting ideas out. But one thing that I like is, getting things really quick. I'm sure that it's not nearly as simple to like just make deals with whoever you want and that sort of thing. But I do know, like, Amazon has a facility. I don't know. I think they have a 2-day shipping facility that's in the Grand Rapids area. I'm not sure if they deliver out to where I'm at, but I know the FedEx station that I work at actually delivers out to where I'm at. But I don't think we do like a same day kind of situation. So but if there could be like a way that you guys could like partner with Amazon or FedEx or UPS, and to make things go quicker, that would be awesome. But I also know that that is, in my mind, that very easily sounds like a pipe dream. So just saying.
Hey, sky is the limit. That's where some of the best ideas come from, are people saying this could never happen. Imagine the first person who pitched a cell phone, a computer in your hand, back when computers were like the size of my house. They probably like, oh no, that's a big pipe dream. That's not going to happen. But that's where all of our best ideas come from.
I know that, like, for my major architecture, that the laptops that you guys have in store aren't like strong enough to handle the software that we use. So like that could also be like a thing, to have a more of a variety of laptops or MacBooks or whatever you want to call them.
That's interesting. Like, I wonder, are they only offering those ones because it like matches a price point that they think students would be willing to pay, or what?
That's a good question. Yeah, I don't know, and unfortunately not an answer that I have. But yeah, but that's a good point, because we're offering, especially these architecture classes that are using these SolidWorks and all of this CAD stuff, which uses a lot of RAM, a lot of CPU usage, and yeah, it. I don't know if my work computer could even handle some of that stuff. Any other feedback?
If I can just jump in for a second. First of all, I need to bounce. I need to get to another meeting, but as a member of the bookstore task force that's reviewing this has been great information. And so we'll be bringing it back to the committee. I know for a fact that the members of the committee are going to really appreciate all the information, all the feedback that you all gave me, us. So thanks again, and hopefully we can make some improvements for all of our students. So thank you. See you guys.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, I have some more feedback. I don't believe that I've seen chargers for phones in there. That'd be like a good thing to add. And better snacks. Yeah, definitely better snacks. I'll only see healthy snacks when I go in there, and I despise them because, yeah, the taste is horrendous.
You only see healthy snacks?
Yeah, pretty much, like peanuts, chocolate covered peanuts, salted peanuts, the Cliff bars. Because I remember I had to buy snacks for my English class and do like a presentation, like involving a snack or something like that. And I'm looking around at the snack, like, what kind of snacks will people eat? And wasn't, yeah, got some granola bars.
Rella, that's so funny. I actually I usually go there like when I need a snack, and the vending machine snacks aren't, it's like, no, I don't really want that. But when I've needed a snack, well, not needed, but I went to the bookstore and I don't know. I remember buying a pack of gum and it was like, I forgot how much it was. But I just think because after finding out it's a third party company and they are there for like, profit and stuff like that, it kind of hasn't been sitting right with me. But I mean, whatever, what are you gonna do? But I just think that the prices for things are just a little bit higher because it's the only place, because it's kind of like a food desert around GRCC campus. There's not an actual grocery store unless you go over to Michigan to like Gordon Foods and stuff. And like there's no like major grocery stores around GRCC. There's like only like fast like restaurants and stuff. But anyways, it's like really accessible, and I think that's why they like get their prices up there, because I mean I can either walk, leave the parking ramp, have to come back, pay more, stuff like that, and I don't think you really want to do that. So
Yeah, that's real. Like, I think I saw like a $4 granola bar, and you can buy a whole box with $4. So yeah, there's something to be said there, some room there.
This will be, I think, probably my last idea unless my brain gets to working some more. This is like probably not gonna happen because it's so on a large scale. It'll probably be down like years later. But just a note you could jot down is like, I don't know, expand the bookstore, throw in a like food place in there or something, and then it can attract more people to come in there to buy items and increase funding that way.
yeah, like if they really are about profit, like you got to put something in there that's gonna get some profit. Because if there was a food place in there, like fried, like something in there to eat, then I'd definitely be like, okay, well, instead of spending $4 on a granola bar, I'll spend $4 on a sandwich and some chips, like that. And
Yeah, I got it. A snack bar. They should like make a window, like at like a roller rink or whatever. You just like, I'm here.
Go
I want to order.
stuff.
Yeah.
Now, would you find it more convenient to have that actually in the store versus, like the quiet cafe upstairs?
Yeah, that's why I was saying to like expand on the bookstore, so it could be like half of the books, like half of this is the bookstore, and then the other half is like seating and the food court. And then you can even make it like a doorway to go in there, just so you can do like make it less noisy in the bookstore, just for people that want to have like peace and quiet.
I actually think the seating idea is a good idea. Like I forgot that the quiet cafe was upstairs, but like an area to sit. Because I'm like when I'm on campus, I'm always looking for somewhere quiet with not a lot of people. And like I don't know, I remember when I was in there for like the first week of class, and the lines were just wrapping around everything. And if there was like an area to sit down and wait, like I think that'd be like pretty cool. Or maybe like chairs or something. And I don't know, a hot beverage station. I don't know, something to like. I can sit here and wait instead of standing here, because the first week of class is always the worst at the bookstore. And, so I think it'd be cool if there was somewhere that we could just chill while we're waiting or something.
I got another idea. So with the like air thing, basically, what if there was like an option where you can go in the bookstore, I don't know that you guys can like find the books for people like when you go in there, because I've done it like that before. And like, so basically make it where be like, can you guys get these books for me? And then while you guys are doing like finding the books, I can go get a snack and wait. And then it'll send a text to my phone like, your books are ready to come pick up. And then it could be like a different line for that. Kind of like now with the COVID stuff, like online pickup or whatever it's called.
Yeah, like you could hand them your schedule or your student ID. They'll run it, pull up your schedules. Okay, here's your classes. Got your books.
That's how it was when I was a student up at Northern. Like you would just say, like you'd give them your student ID number. They would look up your class schedule. You would say whether you wanted new or used or rent to like whatever. And then when you went to pick it up, you would just pay for that. So you knew you got the right books. You're not standing in line, and they were reserved just for you.
Yeah, I like all these ideas to like give life to that space, because like you enter the student center and it's just like kind of dead space. And sure, there's seating, but it's just like wooden. It's there if you like absolutely need it. Kind of, it is not welcoming. It's not cute, and it can be loud in there. So, but I think maybe we're next in line. I don't know, to get a renovation or something.
Yeah, I don't know how, like, I know that they're renovating like the RJF building and moving everything around, and like, I don't know if they're renovating the student life area yet, but I don't know why, but like before I joined Student Alliance, I never went into the student life building at all, just because it's like when I go in there, just like I don't know, it makes me feel like sad.
I do think that should be next in line for buildings that need to be renovated for sure.
It does feel sad. I wonder if, something I've always thought was if we were to move the bookstore to kind of like an online platform and, you know, do all of that, not in the bookstore area, to like knock out some walls and have students design the swag in the in the bookstore, like, or the spirit shop or whatever you want to call it, Raider, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, have snacks and have Student Life run it and have it be opened up to like more of a student union kind of a feel. Like, I think that would be, I would be happy to figure that out with my staff, you know, to make it more welcoming and inviting and
Yeah.
provide a good service to students kind of a thing, have the right snacks and, you know, all that business. I think we could really have some fun with it.
Yeah, because like the Student Life Center building should be the most like attracted building around campus.
It should be
Like,
all the time.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that's where all the students should be at, but they're not. They're at Subway.
Right,
Downstairs
students.
at Subway.
And I
Subway
think,
has cookies.
and I think the only reason they go down there is because that's where all the students go. Like if all the students went
Right.
somewhere else, they would go there because there's no windows. Wait, is
Yeah,
there windows?
that's the point. Like,
This.
how is it gonna be called the Student Life building and it doesn't have windows for real? Except for on that steep hill. What is that?
Yeah, that's true. Get them right, because
Yeah. No, we're on to
Yeah.
something.
That's what I would do. if I
Tear
was
the
the
building down
architect.
and we'll start from scratch. You guys got this.
Yeah.
Just let these guys design the whole thing, right? Maybe?
Yeah, we've got architecture students,
Paolo's
you
got
know,
this.
yeah, they've got
Yeah.
this. And well, any more comments before I take up any more of your time, questions? And like I said, feel free. My email is Mandy Tomlinson, as you see it on the screen, at grcc.edu. If you think of anything afterwards, send it to me. For sure. We want as much information as possible, especially from our students, because that's what the bookstore's for. It's for you guys. We want it to be something that you guys like, somewhere you're going to use. So, absolutely.
I'm all good. Just make sure the portable chargers and the chargers get implemented. Definitely.
I'll do everything in my power to get that in just for you.
Andy, I don't know that you said it, but it seems like Mandy's not from the bookstore, y'all. She does not work there. Like, she's just probing. Anyways, so yeah.
Yeah, I work in IT, but I'm on this committee to help design the future of the bookstore.
Okay, so I understand you're not working at the bookstore then, but can you give me a timetable to when the bookstore is going to be delivering by drone? Like in a
Ooh,
week,
that's a good
probably?
question. It'd be really nice, right, to have that. And I know we have a really awesome drone at the college. Maybe that's something we pitch too, as you know, let's deliver by drone. Books, you get your textbooks delivered to current location.
I want mine delivered by dinosaur.
All right, I'll get that. I'll buy myself an inflatable T-Rex costume, and I'll come deliver it in a T-Rex costume.
Yeah, just put that costume on and come hang out over in Student Life sometime, Mandy.
Dude, I want to buy, that's like that on my wish list for years, because one of my favorite things to do is Google videos of people in those costumes, because it's legit the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Amy Caderna in chemistry has one, so you know, maybe we could borrow that. We have some sumo suits that are like the blow up kind.
Right? Yeah, sounds perfect.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness.
Well, thank you all for all of your wonderful feedback. We really, really appreciate it. I'm going to get this to the team. We're going to eat up all of this information. And like I said already several times, shoot out, any information you have for me. We'll get it known. We'll get your info out there. So
Thank you for being here now.
Yeah, thanks, Mandy. It's good to see you.
bye.
Good to see you. Bye.
All right, let me pull this slides back up. All right, I can see that.
Okay, we're gonna probably just skip the rest of the icebreaker questions because we have like 15 minutes and I don't want to go too late into everyone's time if that's okay. I mean, if you guys want to do more icebreakers, go ahead, but I just want to take your guys' time in your day too. I don't want us to go to like 4:30. Oh, okay. Anyway, so at this time we're gonna open up to the student organizations that are here and see if there's any update or anything you need from us and we can help you guys with. So like Ethan and George, I see you two are still here. Is there anything any updates on your organizations or whatever?
We have regionals next week, which is crazy. I actually got a package this morning related to regionals, and we've been creating like these little gift packages. And I kind of know in general what's in it, but I actually am kind of curious because it's been a little while since we've talked about it. So, but regionals is coming in next week, which is crazy. And then we have our and then Catalyst next month, and then we have, I think, so next week is regionals. Week after is the word escapes me, induction, and then in just a few weeks then we have our national conference. So I mean, that's what we're going to be doing then, planning on the transition of power as this semester comes to an end. So I know we're planning for our next officers to come in.
As for the chess club, we were just in a college tournament with Boston College. Unfortunately, we lost that match, but we're looking to buy some new DVD sets some are pretty pricey. One's $450, which is 400 hours long, and then another one that's 100. So we're looking to dive into those and watch those in our meetings, learn from them, and then maybe in our next tournament get a victory for the campus.
And George, Elena had told me that you had sent or you were going to send in an allocation request. Was that something you still planned on doing? I don't think I saw it if it did go through, or so how are you looking?
It might have been not for me, but from Brian Beecher.
Okay.
He's my advisor and we spoke on it together. So he's kind of filing that information, but we spoke on it into our meetings about it. So I'm aware of it though.
All right, I'll keep my eyes open.
Hey, George, so that needs to be in by tomorrow in order for the e-board to review it next week. So
okay.
If you guys could get that, it shouldn't take long, but if you could get the extra allocation request, if you go to Raider Connect, so grcc.edu/involvement, and then go to the Student Alliance page, and then forms, and then extra allocation request. It should take you maybe 10 minutes, but
okay.
By tomorrow at 5 for these guys to review it next week, and we want to get that money to you if they approve it.
Okay, I'll look into it.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
I would say just a reminder for everyone that the leadership banquet is next week. It's all virtual this year. It's crazy that it's next week, but It's all pre-recorded. Student Alliance and CAB, and with a lot of you guys' help, they've put that together. They're sending out the packages this week. And so tune into that when it becomes available, and we'll push out those announcements, email everybody who signed up, that kind of thing.
Did anyone else have anything they wanted to update? Anna, I know you're in here, but it's okay if you don't have anything to update us on. But
Yeah, I do have one thing. We are currently doing a story about student reaction for the flat tuition announcement by the board. And I was wondering if anyone maybe wanted to just give a quick comment on your thoughts as to what that means to you, or what you think that will mean to other students.
could you explain the flat tuition a little more so we're all clear?
So the board on Monday had a work session and their regular board meeting, and they approved a flat tuition as presented by Lisa Freiberger. And what that means is the $117 in-district rate per credit hour that we are currently paying is staying at that rate for the next school year. Traditionally, it rises somewhere in between 1% and 2% every year. But because of COVID, they've decided to leave it flat.
To leave it flat rather than like decrease it and stuff like that?
Yeah, so they could have decreased it, which is an option that they obviously did not choose, but they traditionally it rises every year, and this year it is flat. And they have said that it is strictly due to the fact that they know students are dealing with a lot financially because of COVID, and the school is in a good enough financial situation to do so.
Would it be possible if we can email you a quote? 'Cause
Absolutely.
I don't like say nothing
That's
right
fine.
now. And be like, why did I say that?
That's totally fine. I just wanted to put that out there because that is pretty big news. A lot of other institutions have chosen to still do an increase for their tuition. So it is pretty significant that GRCC has chosen to do that.
Could you put your email possibly in the chat so we can, if anyone wants to like comment on that they can get back to you?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess I could leave an in-person comment that's not like prepared or anything, if you're okay with that.
Yeah,
ahead.
that's fine.
Okay. So I guess I think that's really great because I know tuition, yeah, for most places tends to go up like over time. Like anytime you look at how much college tuition has increased over time, it's been crazy when you look at the numbers of how much tuition costs now compared to what it is. So the fact that the board has chosen to keep it the same over COVID-19, I think it's really interesting for me because I know that like because of the pandemic that affects like state taxes, and I know the state is huge in, I don't know necessarily how much it's involved in GRCC's funding, but I know that I think that there is to some extent like some involvement there. So with like reduced, I don't know, I'm probably overthinking this, but basically I would say that this is a really good thing and exciting for me, being slightly familiar with how tuition has been historically.
Yeah, thank you for your comment.
All right, we're kind of pressing against time here. So I believe that's all for today. But if anyone has any final comments they'd like to share, Anna did give us her email so we can, get back to her on how we feel about the flat intuition. But yeah, so if does anyone have anything else they would like to say or share?
I
Nope.
think we might plug our next town hall with Dr. Pink. You want to talk about that, Anaya, or invite people to that?
Well, Dr. Pink will be coming to our next town hall, and he will be, I haven't emailed his Amy yet, but he will be answering, we gave him a topic to kind of shed light on. So it's kind of about like, how is GRCC going to be like held accountable for like the lives of students and making it easier. And I didn't even realize, but even what Anna was talking about, that kind of coincides that. So just the next town hall, Dr. Pink will be there. And if you would like to hear him or ask him any questions, he'll be there for about half an hour. So please come, and please come with your questions or, just your listening ear. Oh my gosh. I work at a little school and I always say, put your listening ears on. And I didn't mean to say that. I'm so sorry. But yeah, just come ready. So
That's on April 1st, everybody. And it's not a joke. It's happening.
Yes. Thank you, Ashley. And we'll probably post a flyer on Instagram within the next week. So just be looking for that. Other than that, that is about it. Not nothing too exciting, but Dr. Pink will be there, so that's kind of cool. All righty then. Well, Lena, are you on mute? No. Oh no, maybe my laptop was like having a problem.
Try again. You sound like really far away.
Hello?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to say good job today, everybody. I know that was a long meeting, but I appreciate all of your feedback. It's interesting to hear you guys talking about it. So cool. Good stuff. All right, I'm going to stop recording.